do today, we're going to start it off with the part one of a 2-video series going over the Eberlestock X41 pack, otherwise known as the HiSpeed 2. In this first video, I'm first going to touch up on why I actually picked this pack up, some of the stuff I look for when I'm actually buying a pack and why. Then we'll actually jump into the pack itself. In part 2 of this video series, we're going to go over all the modifications that I did to this pack. What's going to be pretty neat about part 2 is that some of the modifications that I did to this are not just for the X41. I believe you absolutely can do these for the X4, obviously the X41, the X3, and the X31, and some of them you might be able to get away with doing them for the Euro. So let's start this off. In the spirit of brevity, I'll keep this first part short right here, but if you just simply want to actually jump right to the pack, just hit your scrubber bar over to this time mark right here, and that'll go right into the pack. So in short, when I look for a pack, I look for a pack that I would consider a scalable pack, where my line 1 base is actually just simply the pack itself. And if I need to pack extra stuff, I can actually amp up the capacity on the pack, and I can do so seamlessly where it doesn't look like a hot mess. When I scale up the pack, I like the stuff on the pack to actually look like it actually belongs there. It's important to keep the balance exactly where it needs to be. I don't want molly pouches on the side of the pouch kind of swaying around. Everything needs to be rock solid and secure without kind of throwing off my center of balance too much. The reason being that I kind of do this, in short, when I first came in the military, I didn't really know what the heck the military life was like. Soon learned right off the bat, you come in for PT, you change out of that uniform, you get showered, do all the other stuff, you put on your duty uniform, you go home, you got time in the field, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month if you're at JRTC or NTC, so on and so forth. Then you find yourself out in deployment. When I was deployed, I was on JCOPS, and we were out there about 2-3 weeks at a time, and then we'd come back into a FOB for about 3 days for refit. So over time, I started looking for a pack that would not only serve me as a good pack just simply to bring to work with me, but also can serve me as a pack that if I was getting away for a weekend or spending some time in a hotel, or a pack that I can take to the field with me that was going to be robust enough where I wasn't going to kill it, / also take that pack on a deployment with me if I happen to be getting deployed again, to which right now I'm a civilian, so that doesn't really apply, but nonetheless, I still kind of look for that stuff in a pack. All right, so first up, we'll take a quick look at the Line 3 version that I kind of have set up. Line 3 is approximately 48 liters of capacity. We'll do a quick 360 view. Next up, this is the Line 2 setup. Do you notice on the side, Line 2 is minus the sustainment pouches? Line 2 brings me in right around approximately 44 liters of usable storage. And lastly, this is Line 1. This is going to be the way your pack looks like right when you get it in the mail from Eberlestock. All right, so here we are at the front half of the pack. As the video moves on, and we need to get kind of different angles so I can show you guys stuff, because I kind of want you guys to see exactly what I'm talking about. Move the camera around as such just to get the better angle. Looking for a bag online, one kind of non-negotiable, the bag has to have a frame. Super important, the bag has a frame. I've had some pretty good bags. I used a Tactical Tailor 3-Day Assault Plus for a while. I believe that bag came in at 2,200 cubic inches. Kind of problems with bags like that don't have a frame is that when you actually load it up, load it to capacity, what you'll find is, see how this front pouch is kind of rolling out? Bags without frames, you'll get this effect on your back, which makes for a really irritating, uncomfortable carry. So one, bag's got to have some sort of rigid type frame to it. Personally for myself, I need a bag to be at least 21 inches or longer. Which is great because this one comes in at 22 inches. I have a little bit of a longer torso. Next up, organization and ease of access. I'm kind of a stickler for organization. I do think, yeah, packs can have too many pouches, but in the same regard, I don't get too wrapped up if it actually does have too many pouches. I load my bags the exact same way every single time, and I don't really deviate from that. You have not lived until it was 2 o'clock in the morning, you haven't slept in 2 days, and you're digging through your bag looking for a new set of batteries for your nods. That's living. So I always load it up the exact same way, and I like to stay organized. Nowadays, kind of just going about in backcountry, I like to organize my bags for shelter, water, fire, food, medical, ammunition, and then clothing in that order. Now the X401 is coming in at 1800 cubic inches. When you convert that over to liters, this is approximately a 30-liter pack. And interesting thing about the capacity of this pack, and we'll touch a little bit more on that later. This bag is 22 inches long, 11 inches wide, and 7.5 inches deep. It weighs 5 pounds 8 ounces, so they're definitely not too concerned about weight, which is fine because this bag is built pretty tough. It has an internal, I might pronounce this wrong, has an internal gossamer frame, which works really good. We'll take a closer look at that later. The bag is made with 420 denier nylon, and the retail price of this guy is 200 bucks. First up, we'll take a quick look at the back. Obviously, it's coming with Eberlestock's movable harness. This thing's pretty cool. This is the second bag I've had that had a harness that's movable up and down on this ladder rung. So depending on the length of your torso, and really we should kind of be messing around with this harness in order to get this hip belt down here to actually ride center of the hip belt actually on your hip bones. So having a harness that you can move up and down on the ladder, super beneficial if you actually use the hip belt. Moving around the harness, we do got some load lifters right here. It comes with Velcro stays so we can tie up our straps, keep them neat. Always tie up our straps, always tie up the straps. Got some D-rings right here. Of course, you got a sternum strap. This is a 3/4 inch sternum strap that they send them out with. One side's rigid. Of course, tie up your loose ends so you don't look sloppy. Second side has a little bit of elasticity right here, a piece of elastic, and of course with another 3/4 piece of webbing right here, so you don't put too much strain on the elastic. Moving down on this harness right here, one thing that's kind of neat, I just want to make sure you get this in view. 25mm Fastech buckles on the bottom. They are covered up by a smaller piece of 420 denier ripstop right here, so you really can't accidentally pop this off by the bottom. You definitely got to be pretty deliberate when you want to take these off. With respect to the back of the bag, one thing I do like is when companies add this texture on the back, so this vertical running padding. What you'll notice with bags like this, right around 25 pounds and under, this will make a really big difference. You will definitely feel the air kind of moving up your back when you have a lighter load on. Once you pass 25 pounds, we're up to around 30 plus. With this being the maximum weight I've ever carried in this guy was right around 43 pounds. But sub 25, you'll feel this on your back. You'll feel the air. Above 25, what I kind of tend to notice is that now it just simply feels flat on your back. And that's not the frame that's under too much stress. It's just when you have that much weight on your back or when you're going above that weight, you kind of lose the sensation of these. One thing I was kind of wondering when I first got this bag is how quickly is this foam material or what they put in here, how quickly was it going to break down and going to be useless to me? I've had this bag for quite a while right now, and this is my everyday bag. I bring this one to the gym with me. Like, you'd be surprised how much I use this bag. Even when I'm at the house, sometimes I'm still grabbing stuff out of this bag. And I haven't noticed any signs of this stuff deteriorating. And right now I have well over 150 miles on this bag of walking around backcountry. So, so far I definitely think it holds up. Moving down to the waist belt. Get that camera set up for you guys. Waist belt, fully removable. When you tighten this thing down, I know a lot of people, they prefer to have their waist belt where they can grab here and tighten it with a pulling, a forward pulling motion. It's kind of irrelevant to me. I don't particularly care one way or another, but it's interesting, neat to know that you can. So you can tighten it by pulling here. Conversely, you can pull these out and just cinch it down this way, the traditional way. This is 2-inch webbing right here, 2-inch Fastech buckle. The belt is easily removable if you don't waist belt, which is kind of the category I'm in. I just put the waist belt on just for the sake of the video. When removing the waist belt, all you really need to do is just slide your hand in here because there's some hook and loop that holds it in place. Slide your hand in there, break free that hook and loop, and you can pull it right out. Having the waist belt out, they gave us a clue. I'm not a police officer, but up. That must mean a clue when you put it back in. So pretty neat. Belt itself is pretty rigid. If you guys have ever used like battle belts and stuff like that, this is kind of along the lines with that type of rigidity. If I were to hold this belt and like a VTAC Brocos belt in left hand, right hand, they would be almost identical in how rigid they are. So pretty neat. If you want to run belt pouches, obviously you got your traditional PALS matrix running along the side of the belt on both sides. So that's pretty cool. If you want to run a belt pouch, good stuff. Putting the belt back in is just as simple. Up, feed is through. Normally slide my hand in right here. I'll pull it out on the back here where you see your stitching. As soon as I get this through the lumbar section of the bag, what I do is I just eyeball the stitching pattern and I center that on the bag. The belt's in, easy breezy. When you're done with it, or if you don't want to use it, it's easily removable and you can get it out of the way. All right, moving on to the front of the bag. On the very outside pouch here, you got the Eberlestocks, their 10 millimeter PALS webbing. It's the exact same style PALS webbing that I had on my my Arc'teryx 45, or my Card 45. It works pretty good. I actually really like the look of the 10 millimeter PALS webbing. It keeps it clean. It looks a lot more tasteful than some of the traditional Molly, just in my opinion. The only thing this webbing does not necessarily lend itself to very well is the traditional weave that we're actually supposed to attach pouches to. So when you put pouches on PALS webbing, you weave it in, then you weave it through the pouch, back through here, back through the pouch, back through here, back through the pouch. With this particular pattern, the way they have it set up, you can just about 3/4 weave your pouches. So there's going to be a bottom section right here where you can't 100% run the full weave of the pouch. You're going to have like a 3/4 weave. That kind of left a bad taste in my mouth just because I'm kind of OCD about packs. But nonetheless, even with that, I haven't had any pouches shifting around or giving me any noticeable problems, so no big deal. Top of the pack here, you got 2 big pockets. We'll go over the big one first. Normally I keep my zippers on the side, and I'll kind of get into why I do that later. So on this big pouch right here, just for reference size right now, I got a snug pack jungle blanket in here, and I got a 12 by 12 tarp. This is stuff, these are my hand wraps. I normally keep these in here, again, because this is my gym bag. Glasses case because I'm a nerd. For different size reference, if you wanted to, this will take up 3 Nalgene's. So if you had 3 Nalgene's, you can stack 3 Nalgene's right on top of one another and still have room in the front. Just for showing how deep these pockets go and how well they work. I just had that stuff in here, and that was that. Moving along the inside of the bag right here, you have your hook here for bladder hydration. I don't normally carry camelback bladders with me anymore, but if you do have one, you can definitely hook it up right here. And then in the back, that's where your camelback would go. Now, before I forget, there's 2 things, 2 quick modifications I did to this pack that are unreversible. So in other words, I just want to show you what I did to the pack, and then I will show you kind of a before and after photo so you kind of know what I did and what it looked like to begin with. Inside, I think it's all Eberlestock bags. They have these portfolio pockets. I don't know why they do that. I really hate them. This is what they look like. I had this bag for about 3 months, and then I got a wild hair at my ass, and that pocket had to go. Now, one thing that really drew me to the bag was the fact that they have these shelves which can separate the gear. I love organization. The problem is that this particular shelf is actually, it's the hook and loop where you can actually break the shelf free from is actually hooked to the portfolio. So if you remove your portfolio pocket by giving the bag a little surgery, well, now you're also going to have to figure out how to reattach this shelf down here. So kind of thinking it through to the end and then reverse planning that whole process back, I removed the portfolio, and what I ended up doing is taking the hook and loop and I sewed it directly into the pack. So I didn't lose that shelf that I really liked a lot, and I also got rid of the portfolio pockets. So that's what I kind of did up here. Not really a big deal. Zippers along the entire bag, so every zipper that it has. First bag I've actually well, no, I had the assault pack I got issued in the Army has pretty fat zippers, and this is the second bag I've had that has really big zippers. So YKK zippers all over the place. All the zippers do come with these humongous pull tabs. The pull tabs look exactly like that. That is the pull tab. They work great if you have gloves on, which is probably why Eberlestock puts them on. I wasn't too crazy about them. I kind of just like simpler zipper pulls, so this was me. I just cut off those loops and I put on my own 550 cord zipper pulls. That's just my own personal taste, but that's what they look like when you get the bag. With respect to the back pocket, one thing I do like, if you notice when you see bags, that we'll call them stacked pockets, so you have one here and then you have one here. If you have pocket A filled, pocket A sometimes will have a tendency of pushing its load over into pocket B, which makes pocket B sort of useless to a certain extent. The way they cut this bag is I can have this pocket completely full, and it's pretty packed full, and I still have plenty of access to pocket B. So in other words, the load from this pocket doesn't push into this one. That's super appreciated. Okay, moving along to the side of the bag, the compression straps. There's one on the bottom, one on the top, so a total of 4 compression straps. The straps, the way it comes from Eberlestock, are attached with ladder locks, which are these buckles right here. I absolutely hate the fact this bag came with ladder locks on the side. So the first thing I did, I was kind of looking for a better way to fix the ladder lock. The reason I didn't like those is when you have a ladder lock, you can loosen up this strap, the length of the strap, but you don't have the ability to actually remove the strap in its entirety. So like right now, you guys are sitting on a tripod. I came out here, that tripod was down here in this bottle pocket, and I had it lashed down. So the first thing I did was I actually I cut the ladder locks off, and I put 25mm Fastex buckles on them, which looks just like this. I used that for a couple weeks, and then I kind of wanted something that was a little bit more low profile. I had a couple extra rifle slings that I don't use, so I decided to cannibalize those. And what I did was I grabbed 2 G-hooks off those rifle slings. I just wanted to see how it looked and work. And I was actually pleasantly surprised. I'm not too crazy about G-hooks, generally speaking, just because the end right here is open. So in the back of my mind, that's an open buckle, so to speak. So I always kind of have worries in the back of my mind. How secure is this? Is it going to come off? Now, I've had these G-hooks on for, it's been months, and I haven't had one come loose. I haven't had one pop off, so that was one thing I did. Swap these out. Now I have the ability to remove the strap. You can still tighten the bag down as you please with these on. Get everything nice and cinched. You can loosen it. You can now also remove it, and I did that on all 4 compression straps. Moving down along to the bottle pockets. So let's back this up right here. Bottle pockets are definitely generously cut. I've seen a couple people and they were complaining about the bottle pockets. I have no idea why. The bottle pockets hold Nalgene's extremely securely. They comes with a cord and cord lock down here, so you can cinch it down, loosen it up. In this one, this is my stainless steel Nalgene that I normally boil water in. I also got my cup, so they fit in here just fine. You can tighten this down all the way, and it just about swallows your Nalgene. These are not going anywhere. Flipping it along to this side, this is my other Nalgene bottle I normally carry with me. It's my stainless steel one. This one I have in a cover. I really like my ice, so I don't like my stuff to melt too prematurely, so it's in a wrap, which makes the bottle more bulky. Nonetheless, even when the bottle's bulky, you can still get it in there, cinch down on that strap, and these aren't going anywhere. So the bottle pockets work pretty good. Again, on this side, we got some more G-hooks. Moving around at the front of the pack, so we have some more 10mm PALS webbing right here. Good to go. Flip it over. This pouch on the outside, it's about a 3/4 clamshell opening. When you open it up, you have some more PALS matrix right here. What I did, this is a little admin pouch I keep on the inside. What I keep in here is just some markers, pens. I got a couple chem lights in here in case I need them. This is my backup light source. I keep another lighter, some aspirin, nothing too crazy. Extra couple Ranger bands if I happen to need to tie something up. So I keep that there on the inside. It works great. Down here, I always keep extra socks or cravat down here, and this is also where I store my gloves normally. Moving along to the kind of main pocket, biggest compartment they have. Right now I have this thing just with a medium weight sleeping bag. It's just kind of tossed in here right now. It's not compressed, so I just wanted to just get in there for a little bit of fluff. I also got my first aid kit right here. Now the bottom pocket is extremely generously sized, and this is another reason why I really like this shelf. I'm able to access stuff in the bottom without having to dig through the stuff on the top. If I need something from the bottom of the bag, it drives me crazy to have to go in through the top and fish all the way down to get something that I need. I absolutely love this freaking shelf, and this was a huge selling point on the pack for me. I think all packs should have compartmentalization like this. So again, just my first aid kit in here, my medium weight sleeping bag. A little earlier we were talking about the Gossamer frame that comes with the pack. Where the frame's actually located is in here. This Velcro flap right here is what holds it in place, or really just kind of keeps it more secure. This is the frame sheet right here. What's kind of interesting about this frame, well, one, I kind of had my reservations about it. With it being, I don't know if this is injection molded. I'm not sure really what the heck this is made out of, to be honest with you. But with respect to this thing, I kind of had my reservations that this might be break or it might be really flimsy. In other words, when you get a lot of weight on the pack, how well is this going to maintain its rigidity? To my surprise, again, I think I've had about 43 or 44 pounds in this pack total. It keeps its rigidity extremely nice. One thing I really do like about it is you can see right here, it kind of goes with the curvature of your back naturally, which makes this pack an extremely comfortable ride for me. So I really like this frame. I'm not an engineer, but I do know when frames or metal in general kind of has this ridge right here that protrudes out one side, that's definitely adding to its strength. So you notice these two running all the way down, and you can also see a little stamped Eberlestock logo right here. So right now what I did, I actually just put back on this pouch right here. It didn't come with the pack, so I wanted to take it off when I was showing this pack around. This is Eberlestock's large padded accessory pouch. This pouch has been on the bag since day one. This is the one I kind of go into most often. This is where I keep car keys, wallet, really anything I really need quick access to. So that thing stays on the pack 24/7. It's been a part of this pack since day one. Now, just kind of go over some of the pros and cons, and then we'll kind of wrap this up, and then we'll start doing part two. The pack is extremely robust. It can do a whole lot of things for me. It serves very well as an everyday carry pack at 30 liters, and I'm able to scale it well up to around the 50-liter mark, so I definitely like that. Zippers are definitely nice. Bag seems very well built. Couple things I kind of wish they had done different. One, the buckles on the side for the compression straps, I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. So I had to cut those off myself. And to be completely honest with you, when anyone makes a bag or any sort of product, period, the end, they're not necessarily making it for you. They're making a product that should serve most people well. So just for the fact I didn't particularly like those doesn't mean they're not going to work for you. It just didn't work for me, so that's why I cut them off. One thing I would have really liked to see is seeing how this bag has a flat top. It would have been really nice to see a couple of lashing points on top, one here and maybe one here. 10 millimeter or the traditional 25 millimeter PALS webbing, just two lashing spots right here, because this would make a pretty good spot right here to roll up a sleeping pad. Same thing moving along to the bottom of the bag. This area right here definitely could use some small lashing straps. I don't think it needs full PALS webbing all the way across. Just maybe 1-2 contact points down here just to lash something down. Now, other than the lashing points, the compression straps, that's honestly really the only two things I didn't particularly like about the bag. The drag handle and the carry handle in the back, super robust. Harness, very comfortable. Frame works great. Zippers, really big. 4 big pouches for me. Organization, I think I'll give it a solid 9 out of 10. Comfort, right around 8 out of 10. Versatility, which you guys will see more of in part 2. I'll give that a solid 8 out of 10. All in all, I think it's a really good bag. The price point, I don't particularly think $200 for a bag is too much money. I think that's actually pretty fair. I also don't mind spending extra money on gear that's going to last me. Now, the last thing, you can kind of look at this one or two ways. If you look up any review on Eberlestock online, I'm not a part of any forums, but you can almost be guaranteed you're going to find yourself in the comment section of a forum. You really can't mention this pack without talking about where it's made, and that's kind of the big elephant in the room. I do think this pack is good, but it is made in Vietnam.
Viet fucking Nam!
Honestly, I did not know where the bag was made when I first bought it. I kind of found that out afterwards because the tag inside says so. So at first I was like, ah. And then I kind of thought about it a little more, and you know what? It honestly doesn't really matter. The jacket I'm wearing right now, it's just a Patagonia jacket. There's nothing from them that I would expect to ever buy that's going to be crappy quality. Patagonia makes really good stuff. My jacket was made in Vietnam. I have 2 jackets from Arc'teryx and 1 pair of pants from Arc'teryx. Looking at those tags, my pants were made in Canada. 1 jacket was made in China, and the other jacket was made in Bangladesh. And I'm not even sure where Bangladesh is. I think that's just east of India, but don't quote me on that. And there's absolutely nothing that I would get from Arc'teryx that I would find to be lesser quality. So with respect to where it's made, obviously they're probably trying to do it there to cut down on labor costs, which is fine, I don't care. But for when I hear people say like, oh, it's going to be of inferior quality because it was made in Vietnam, honestly guys, that's just pure unequivocal bullshit. Some of the best gear out there is made overseas, so they can kind of keep the cost down as much as they possibly can. So all in all, it's a really good bag. I really dig it. And let's get part 2 up and running. Thanks you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and you stay safe.
If you give a shit, tune in.